Hello, and welcome back to episode 2 of Heel Talk, where we get real talk with Burju going on here. And guess what? It's Black History Month, one of our favorite months of the whole year. And in this episode, in this show, we're going to discuss how brands can celebrate Black History Month in a meaningful way.
Authentic. None of the performative stuff.
The real
deal.
talk.
The real talk. The heel talk.
So I'm Burju Perez and
I'm Hannah Bessette.
And we're going to get right into it.
Our brand, our team is very small. We don't have something like an HR department, for example. I don't think that that's a hindrance to us because luckily we are a small team that actually just cares about each other.
We actually listen to each other. We talk things out. We have a system of discussing things and coming up with plans or solving the problems together as a community versus having some overseeing entity like an HR or the corporate office tell us what to do. Honestly, this brilliant woman that's sitting by me, I had to ask, these are some uncomfortable conversations because it is a challenge to have a conversation about how to do things in a meaningful way and not be performative and things like that. So I've leaned a lot on Hannah. I'm so grateful for Hannah because she's been able to literally lead us in a meaningful action. So, Hannah, tell them where you got your experience from too.
I am a graduate of Howard University. I was a political science major, and my interests have always been in activism, social organizing, social justice, and so forth. And so I have a passion for my community and marginalized communities, and I kind of take that into every space, and I'm lucky enough to work for a brand that allows me to bring it in here. Of course, it can be uncomfortable. As a Gen Zer coming up in a company, it can be extremely terrifying, I know, or even anyone who works for a company. If you have a boss anywhere, it is never fun to have difficult conversations or conversations where I might have more rank or experience than my boss, my superior. Luckily enough, you and I have formed, I think, quite a relationship where I've always felt like an equal. I've never felt like I could not approach you, even with some difficult conversations. And I think it's been healthy for us both to be able to step into that discomfort together, knowing that it's a safe space for us to make mistakes and be wrong and figure it out because we're always rooted in a place of respect. Absolutely. And caring about each other's experience.
Absolutely. And here's the thing is, okay, you can call me your superior, if you will, because I'm your boss, right? But we also have a very big generational gap. I mean, I could be your mother.
Stop it.
I could. I mean, but, honestly, this is a brilliant woman that's sitting beside me that has all the experience, knowledge. She's able to articulate her ideas professionally with a lot of thought. Like, there's never a moment that there isn't thought that goes into it. So clearly, Hannah's the one to lead this discussion for our brand. So in fact, she is the superior, if you will. Everything has to pass through Hannah. It has to be approved by Hannah. It has to be proofread. And I know that she's going to go through it thoroughly and make sure that it's always best for our community and with the best intentions and meaningful intentions. So I fully trust this woman right here. There's nothing I wouldn't, even if it's uncomfortable for me, I find that just puts me in a space of learning and growth. I know that there's something there that I have to unpack, understand. So she's my teacher, she's my boss, she's my leader, she's my guide in this. And for many of us in a small team. So, that's why she's going to really lead this conversation actually as well. So what are some of the things that you have come on? These are all Hannah's ideas, okay? So all the credit right here, everybody. What are some of the ideas you brought forward? I mean, we've done different things in years past, obviously, but this year you've brought some other new things to the table to add on to some of our other practices for this month. And by the way, we don't want to isolate it to just February. We'd like to do it year long.
Yeah,
we
always have something fun planned for Black History Month because we as a brand are rooting for everybody Black all the time, 365. Last year, we got to talk with Kira Harper, who is an incredible choreographer, performer, dancer, artist. who was able to shed some light on the experience of Black dancers in the professional industry. That was a great talk we had. This year, we always like to bring something new to the table. And for me, it's always about supporting and rooting for everybody Black during this whole month. That's what we all should be doing. First step, since our community is of dancers, artists, choreographers, music lovers, is that we are dropping the Burju Black History Month playlist, where all month you can dance to, choreograph to, kick it to, go to work on your morning drive, streaming Black artists, because that's what it's all about. Absolutely. And so we're dropping the Spotify playlist this Black History Month. Get excited. I am.
Links will be below, by the way.
Yes, we'll drop the links. Don't worry. Our lovely team member, Danae, is curating the perfect playlist to get down to. So we have that in the works. We also have the Burju reading list dropping for the first time this month. I do like to read, and I read a lot of Black literature. Some of it was assigned to me when I attended an HBCU and got a very well-rounded curriculum where Black people were actually included in our contributions to all fields. But, so I have had a lot of experience and a lot of exposure to great literature, and I'm dropping some books. I love a book. I hope you love books as well. And this is my small stack that is not representative of all the books that will be dropped on the list. You can find the link below or on Instagram at Burju Shoes. And it's kind of a hot topic right now because, as we've seen, books are getting banned.
Yes. Something I never thought I'd see. We have already seen the AP curriculum of African American Studies being banned, so students cannot learn about this. And now it's going into books, and it's not just about the Black communities, affecting all marginalized communities. So it's important more now than ever, and that's why I think as a brand, we can step in and help, because we do have a platform. And I think it's really important for us to share the work we're doing, how we're staying educated, how we're doing the work to keep ourselves informed and not letting people take that power away from us. And we're buying the books, we're getting, the reading list and the playlist from our friends so we can stay educated. You have to keep that in your own hands. So I'm so grateful because, I've done some of my own reading. Hannah's added to my reading list. I'm so excited. She's going to be lending me these books so that I can actually go through them, because I too love to read. And I'm thankful that she's personally curated this stellar thing. But yeah, it's really important right now. So I'm excited to see what you're showing us.
And reading in general, especially reading Black literature, reading about things that you may have never been exposed to, is crucial, because it is never easy to be the only Black person in a room holding the weight of, quote unquote, speaking for your community or being representative. There's no one Black person that is representative of the Black community. We are not a monolith, but there's a lot of pressure to educate or to hold people accountable around you, being, the only Black person in a room at times. And with that being said, non-Black people that want to participate in anti-racism need to take on that burden of educating themselves. Google is free everywhere, for the most part. Google is free, and it can be exhausting to always be expected to answer the questions. You know what I'm saying? Because those questions are sometimes painful, are sometimes traumatic, are sometimes angering. And it's important that you take the time to kind of seek out books for yourself. But don't worry, I'll start you off on the right track. Now, talking about our current events, banned books, one of my favorite authors in the world, Burju, I don't know if you know this. Actually, this author is the reason why I ended up going to Howard University, and that is Mr. Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Oh, what?
When I was in high school, I read the book Between the World and Me by him. And he mentioned his experience at Howard, which is an HBCU, a historically Black college university. And yeah, it literally made me pick Howard University as a school. Since then, I have read, if you are into fiction, The Water Dancer by Ta-Nehisi Coates is a beautiful story. And most recently, I have read We Were 8 Years in Power, which is a selection of essays about, when he was a journalist during the Obama administration, and kind of his political commentary. Great read. For the books, just to start you off correctly, if you're also into essays where you can kind of pick up a book, put it down from chapter to chapter, Toni Morrison's The Source of Self-Regard is a great place to start. Beautiful writer. We all love her. We all know her, maybe. You do now. So welcome to the team. A book that I was given for my university curriculum is Barracoon by Zora Neale Hurston, another phenomenal author. And this is a book written phonetically in the voice and, the verbiage of the quote-unquote last black cargo.
Oh my gosh, wow.
So it's Barracoon, the story of last black cargo. He was the last person brought to the United States illegally during the transatlantic slave trade, and Zora Neale Hurston essentially interviewed him. And so you get to read it in his tone. It's great. Highly recommend. The Butterfly Lady, if you're looking for some intersectional, queer, almost trans commentary, race, then this is a great read. Highly recommend. James Baldwin, I'm Not Your Negro, a postmortem publication of the acclaimed author. You should read all of his works. If you're looking for, maybe not this book, but an author, James Baldwin. Get in there. We also have Assata, the autobiography of Assata Shakur, written by herself, of course. Great read. And if you like poetry or you want to let a quick read, maybe an hour, we have Homie by Danes Smith or Denez. Not sure exactly. If you know, let us know. If you have any book recommendations for the month, please let us know in the comments. I would love some new book recommendations.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and you can look out for the rest of the month for our Spotify playlist drop, the rest of our book list to drop. Thank you for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.